Well, good evening. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, and we're at the 5th of February, 2024. And here we sit, and digesting over the weekend was great. I got a chance to sit back with my jaw. I had to take it and put tape around it again because the jobs report on Friday was just so mind-boggling. Now, it's a catch-up. We have to understand that jobs report, they do a lot of catching up and they make adjustments to it. And we saw a lot of that. But it's still these numbers, 360,000 jobs for 2 months back-to-back for all purposes. Big-time numbers. What does it do for the Fed? Well, it certainly takes the players, the people that think March, pretty much out of the game. You heard what I just said, pretty much. You don't see Fed fund swap the idea there at a 0%, 18, 20%. Why? Because you're always going to get a group of people that say, yeah, but you wait for the next jobs report, and that one will show that this one was the outlier and there's going to be other adjustments and the Fed's back in the game. That's what people happen to do. More likely, the real move by the Fed, if one comes, I'm through predicting when, near the summer. I think that you have to get the data to show weaknesses more than two, several times in a row to get the Fed under the idea, it's here. And why do I say that? Well, you were hoping to get the March number by seeing that the numbers come down and get near what, the 185, 200,000 mark for jobs. Now you go into the 300s. So you think you're just going to go down to, let's just assume, 250, 2.25, 200. That might do the job where the Fed says, we're starting to trend lower, we can do something. But do you honestly think you're going to get it to go down to 250 and then 2.25 and the Fed's going to make that decision? I have my doubts. I could be very wrong on that, but I have serious doubts. So I think we're back to the idea that you got to get three numbers, and nobody's saying that but me that I'm aware of, that are going to show you on a moving average they've got something really moving in there that they can count on. This group of numbers we had this past Friday just blew that away. Other things we have to look at, you're going to be looking at the Senate trying to get a vote through on the Ukraine, the Israeli-Taiwan, and border deal. It's a mouthful, but that's it. Whatever they do, it sounds as though it's dead if it goes in the current form in front of the House of Representatives. And I'm going to keep repeating, where's this taking us on this deal where we keep extending the budget? Are we going to extend this budget forever? And this could happen into the election? Nobody's saying that. Why not? They can't get anything done, and they're not making headway with this. When I read, and I finally did get a chance to read all the headlines that are being given to the Republicans, a lot of them make sense. But a lot of them, as I understand it, and again, I'm not a legal scholar, the president has these powers. They make it sound as though he doesn't. He does. He's not enacting them. So if I'm at the other side, why am I going to accept this? He's already got them. He's done nothing with them. We're just going to get more of the same. I think that's where the hang-up is in a large part. I think the Democrats know it. They'll just say, no, that's not how it is. Actually, it is how it is from what I'm reading. Again, what I'm reading. Now, if we look at the market today, NVIDIA on a tear to the upside, up another $30. On a tear to the downside, I'm going to use that word, Tesla. What a repricing of a company that is suddenly what? A car company. I have been saying that forever, okay? And admittedly, I had to fight battles when Tesla came out and people tell me it's a tech company, Ira. You don't understand. And I kept saying, no, SpaceX is a tech company. No, Boring is a tech company. They're also manufacturing, but one's a Boring company. One is in the space area. Now he's got the Brain company that's coming out. I can go on and on. But at the end of the day, they're all within certain industries that do certain things. And at the end of the day, Tesla is an automobile company. And it's one that's fighting off competitors in a massive way. They have the margin to do it. The problem is they take down the margins, the PEs and the other parts come out. And more important, in my opinion, the halo around Tesla starts coming out. Some of these other companies that are coming out with these electric cars, these cars are gorgeous. They're not as Spartan as a Tesla. A Tesla looks old today. End of discussion to me. I'm a car guy. I am a car freak, actually. And I haven't bought a new car in 10 years, probably not going to in my lifetime again. I don't have to. I drive in a year 1,200 miles in the city of Chicago, all right? So I don't need it, and there's nowhere I'm driving on the other side. I hop in airplanes wherever I'm gonna go, I guess. But I look at it and I love them. My friends get them. And again, when they sell the car, maybe they got 10,000 miles on them. It's funny. I mean, it's just because, okay, I'm gonna get one. Why? I don't know why. That's what it is. All right. And they're fun to look at. And when I go into my friend's new Lyric Caddy, for example, versus the Tesla, it's truly a Volkswagen interior versus a very luxurious car. So you put it together and that's what you have. Let's take a look for a moment at Lilly. And you can see how Lilly has shot up. This is a drug maker, but is it? This is a leader, one of them, in weight loss. Weight loss isn't going away. In fact, it's at the beginning. This is what, a $1,200 a month industry for if you don't have insurance because you don't have diabetes of a certain type to lose the weight. All right, what happens when that cracks, just like we saw in cars? $900, $800, $700. These are the events that are going to happen over time. And as these events happen, these companies will do better. Also, they're patent protected for a long period of time. So I love these type of companies. They've got something going, and it just started taking off. I mean, this whole thing began now. So on pullbacks, obviously I look at companies like that I'm going to like. Look at how the market's hugging that 18-day average and trying to break away. Now you'll get resistance. It'll get over the Bollinger Band. It'll get excessive. It'll pull back. That's the nature of how the Bollinger Band and this stuff works out. And when it does, you've got to be looking at the opportunity to come in on those deals. We aren't yet embedded, so you're overbought over a Bollinger Band. Only 5% of the time do you stay over the band. So the band will adjust to price. Price will adjust to where the band is. You're overbought and you've got to embed. If you embed on the pullbacks, I get out my checkbook and I go, maybe this is something I want to take a look at. As we take a look at uranium, I'm going to repeat, uranium's back in vogue. Small nuclear plants fit in with today's idea that we got to get away from fossil fuels. I didn't use the word the monster nuclear plants, very selective. Obviously, when you get an earthquake in Japan and you take an area of land you can't use for another X amount of years, I'm talking generations, it hurts the industry. On the other hand, that's a highly, highly prone area to earthquakes. The whole earth isn't prone to earthquakes. So there are areas here that you're seeing. I live in a flat area of Illinois. We're already seeing permits being taken out for this and the state starting to change its point of view on it again. When we take a look at UGA, the gasoline fund, gasoline isn't going anywhere for a very long time. America has not embraced the electronic car to replace the internal combustion engine. It's embracing, present tense, the hybrid. That still uses gasoline with it. Now, are we going to use as much gasoline? Absolutely not. Every time another electric car is made, it is less of gasoline demand, period. And while we're in America, or I am, you go to China, that's where all the incentives are. You go to other countries in Asia, same thing. Those that can afford to embrace the technology aren't as developed in some cases as we are. Why not make the move right into that? And that's what you're saying. So I do see that there could be the market fighting resistance above it now, the 200 to 100-day average. Am I expecting gasoline shocks to happen? I am not. Do I think the Saudis have control in OPEC any longer? I do not. I think America has taken away all that they do in terms of, well, we'll cut 1 million barrels, but we keep going up 100,000, 300, 400,000 barrels at a time. And now we're sitting here at, 13.5 million barrels a day.